Hello and welcome back to Avowed. Last time we left off here in a temple of Eothas with the oracle over here, a fellow godlike, Sargamas, who is a godlike of Eothas, and he's trying to build a statue. However, for that he needs the Splinter of Eothas, which is a relic hidden deeper within the temple. Also deeper within the temple is the Adirian expedition team, who we suspect may also be after the relic, but for reasons we are not entirely sure of yet. So, let us head further in and find out. So, let's go. Deeper into the temple. This looks like a trap of some kind, which is why I'm suspicious. Blast it. That is not a trap of some kind. Oh, okay. A barred door. So this must be the way out of the dungeon. So the way I'm seeing it, this is a self-connected bit of the dungeon. Or like this self-contained bit of the dungeon. Okay. Let's grab ourselves some of that.
The bridge is out, but that looks like the way to the relic.
Well, I mean, we can run and jump that. That's no problem at all. No problem at all. Anything up here? Looks almost like we could remove those roots, but not quite.
This reminds me of the strangle root. But how is anything this big growing all the way down here?
We'll have to swim through the root tunnel to get through here.
Okay. That is a great question on how anything like this is growing down here. I mean, there's not a lot of sunlight down here, so... yeah. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Right. Deeper and deeper we go. Just checking for loot that might be on the ground here. Oh, there's going to be plenty of loot down there. I need to go up and then back down again. Okay. So what have we got? We got a book. We got some Adra. More places that we can go along the sides. That's the main path. So this is a secondary path, this room. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Notes on Godless Language Translation. This damp tome collects the Oracle's wide-ranging and often contradictory thoughts on the origin and translation of the Godless's written language. His musings range across the page at odd angles, at times clearly carefully considered, at others dashed off, improvisational inspired. Arrows loop around the pages to stab at phrases, and dates are circled and underlined with such ferocity the parchment tears. Given the book's length and density, it would appear the Oracle laboured over the mysteries of the Godless for several years before ultimately turning his attention elsewhere. A small sample reads, "The Godless wrote, that much is clear, but their tablets are, nonetheless, maddeningly rare. What few I find in the ruins appear to be crushed, and their rooms that look as though they were intended to house great libraries are left utterly bare, and when I do find something of interest, it's rarely intact. The Godless came to these lands centuries ago, and some degradation in their tablets is to be expected, such is the nature of hand-shaped and fired clay, but they couldn't have been in the living lands for more than 2,000 years. I feel a mind at work here. Someone, or several someones, must have sought their writing out and destroyed it." Actually, writing on tablets, I believe, in our own history has been shown to be a very solid way of keeping information, because it survived many of the things that would naturally wipe out a library with paper. You know, fires, tablets do great. They don't tend to be affected. Floods, all of that sort of stuff. They're pretty resilient pieces of, literature. You have to put some serious effort into carving them. So, them all being missing is a little bit odd, right? It's a little bit, yeah. It shows that someone definitely did something, because it wouldn't have happened by accident. Anyway, especially not for the rest of this place still looking like it's kind of together. Like, the rest of the building still looks like it's pretty together in some way or another. Which makes the possibility of translating their script only appear ever more remote. The structures of their sentences shift widely across decades, or else I understand even less of their grammar than I thought. But my god, tell me, what inspires a culture to suddenly shift from subject, object, verb to subject, object, subject, verb, object, or to case their nouns and then, as if by fiat, to not? I feel that at least a shadow of an answer must lie in the one complete tablet in my possession, and in a word that appears nearly every fragment I find. In Witten. In Witten. That's interesting. That's the first time we've seen that word. Although it does immediately remind me of Ingwithin, which is the people who used to live, well, primarily around the Deerwood, and they were kind of like the old civilization. Huh. Can I take that? No, we can just read it. That's it. We cannot have it for later. What is that? That looks like... One, that's loot, I can see. But two, yeah, this looks like a previous machine, like the ones up above. Like animancy machines down here. Okay. More animancy machines. More of that. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't drown, don't drown, don't drown. That'd be a bad way to go. Just continuing to see if we can get any more clues down here. Ooh, a clay tablet. This clay tablet is inscribed with a flowing vertical script in a language you've never seen before. Yul Hesiza, Yezuha, Lu Yedes, Rageda, Migali Hed, Sayapaya, Pai, Ingwitin, Kid, or Kigid, Yul Gapa, Hubby. So that's the Inwitten. Yeah, and Inwitten is capitalized. That's interesting. So if we assume that capitalizations are pronouns, as you would naturally assume in, like, English they would be, at least outside of the start of a sentence, you would assume that Inwitten, yeah, Zuha, and then Yule is potentially, could be, like, they could be names of peoples or names of specific people. Huh. You can kind of get how it's written. Like, you can kind of get something from how it's written, but I don't think we have enough information yet. With the previous book that was read, yeah, let me go back to that previous book for a second. I need to go up and then down again. So I'm sure it's meaning you to translate some of it, but obviously not all of it. Okay. So, inspires the culture to suddenly shift from subject, object, verb to subject, verb, object. Or to case their nouns and then as if by fiat to not. To case their nouns and then as if by fiat to not. So, yeah, that's what I was just mentioning there. Okay. Yeah. So sometimes they have it capitalized, they have nouns capitalized, and sometimes they do not. Okay. So my natural assumption would be that Inwitten is either Ingwithin or it is a, like, splinter of that one. But the rest of it is kind of lost. Maybe this is about a person potentially, and then this seems like this seems like a phrase, like a common phrase that they have at the bottom, something short and catchy. But it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't give us anything more yet. We would need a little bit more to actually translate, like, you know, any of the words in a sentence. And even then, if you wanted to properly translate it, you also need to know whether the words are, like, if it's a cipher, right? Like, if this is a cipher, then you could say, oh, that might be the. But there's no guarantee that that's what this is. This could be any word. That could mean anything. It's a sentence opener, essentially. It could be anything. Anyway, let's head up here. They've had enough of me looking at books. Right, this way? Ooh, that's the one that means that you have to hit it with fire. Has been a week. Nope, 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 that's incorrect. This is one where you have to hit it with the right electrical thing onto something to open it. Can I just jump? Sort of. Ah, there we go. Switch. Is it this? Yes. Ah, perfect. And then in here, we got more of the nothing that you get in every chest. Okay. I did see some people saying that they felt this was very like Outer Worlds in some way. Like this game. Sorry, just talking about the loot being kind of unimpressive. I don't think it's as bad as Outer Worlds in terms of loot. Like, I think the problem I had with Outer Worlds loot, which is another Obsidian game if you don't know. Oh, we could have gone through here. We still can go through here as well. There we go. That's probably how we were meant to get in here. Yeah, the problem I have with Outer Worlds loot is that your combat equipment felt very samey. And the problem with that is that it's a game that's fundamentally based around gunplay, right? So once you have a gun that works for you, there is pretty much zero reason to switch in that game. You just upgrade it in terms of numbers, and all the enemies scale with you, so you feel exactly the same all the way through the game, because all the enemies scale on health using the same weapon, and it's basically just arbitrarily blocking you off from sections due to enemies' levels being higher. But fundamentally, the game doesn't change at any point. I feel like the difference in this game so far is, at least as a magic user, look how many different options we have immediately. I have these 4 options here. I have the 6 abilities we have there. I then have another 1 ability in here, which to be fair is only used for finding loot, but we have another one in there. Also, I thought I'd just do that in case there was any loot around here. We also then have all of these abilities, plus the ones in our bag. We have lots of different weapon types that we can use, and there's reasons to use each one. I think it feels a little bit better that way. There's also a unique equipment that has unique buffs and things on it that can change how you use other equipment. I think it feels better because the variety is there, and there's reasons to use it. While fundamentally, like, if you've got a gun that does X damage and you've leveled it up to a high amount, there's never going to be a reason to switch to a different gun, because it's just like a pure numbers game. Anyway, we appear to be going into a library. That's intriguing to me. Spiderling. I made a mistake. That's okay. I made a big mistake. Hit it. Although they are a little bit weaker, so maybe not that big a mistake. Nice. Okay.
Nice job, everyone.
Cool. Let's put that away. And what have we got here? Waterlogged book. The writing in this tome is dense and spidery. That's kind of weird given the number of spiders around. And it advances across the page at a sprint as if its author's pen had been enchanted with a spell for its celerity. Whatever muse ensorcelled it will never be revealed, however, for the book's fragile pages swiftly disintegrate in your hands. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem... like, it seems like a library that's... well, I mean, it's got lit candles, so somebody's had to have been here recently. But it does seem like it's not very well maintained. True stories of the living lands. We'll get that in a second. True stories. Only the heartiest of explorers would dare take the long, dangerous trek to the living lands. While there is no denying its beauty, the diversity of plant life alone is a herbologist's dream. The inherent risk in blithely trekking through the pristine hills is more than most should undertake. Let me take a moment to tell you about the land itself. Rolling hills, greenery and sun. The whole area feels like a succession of hills and valleys, each with its own ecosystem. While that declaration is a tad extreme, it can almost be said to be true. The combination of sun, geographical location, proximity to fresh water, valley depth, and the existence of hot springs have given the living lands a wide breadth of flora and fauna. Walk down a hillside into a valley and you will find lush, verdant hills, Climb the next rise and you might see nothing but rock and boiling mineral springs. And the creatures! My travels, I've seen it all, and this place never ceases to amaze me. Trolls. I'll never forget my encounter with the trolls of the living lands. I just narrowly avoided being consumed by a giant plant, more on that later, and was running as fast as I could to get away from it. I broke the crest of the hill, and the valley below was wide, green, wet, and covered with low, thick branched trees. Vines grew everywhere, between the tree, across the tops of them, down to the ground. It as a mess of vine and green. Cautiously, I worked my way down towards the basin, keeping an eye out for anything suspicious. It was a good thing I did so. I noticed not all the trees appeared to be trees. I froze, dropping to the ground in an effort to minimize my appearance. One of the trees moved, lumbering slowly away from the cluster. It's then I realized it was a troll, stepping out from among the group of trees it had been resting against. With a few more steps, I would have walked right into their home. The camouflage these trolls exhibited far exceeded any I had ever seen before, and I hope to return again in the future and observe them more. Insects. While I have never seen them, I've read reports of giant insects in the living lands. Centipedes, flies, mosquitoes, and hornets, all 10 times the size you would see elsewhere. Imagine making camp. You've just gotten everything set up. There's a nice fire going next to your shelter. Something is gently simmering in the cooking pot. You sit down, finally feeling like you can relax after a trying day. You feel a tickling at your feet, insistent and prolonged. Reaching down to brush whatever it is away, your hand comes in contact with something hard, long, and flexible, winding its way around your boot. You look down to see a centipede the size of your arm, casually making its way over your feet toward the far side of your camp. You would get out of that camp, wouldn't you? That's exactly what my friend did when he realized he had started his fire over a centipede nest. Plants. And lest we do not forget, do not let your guard down around the plants. I discovered a wonderful collection of giant flowers. They were bright pink and grew in a circle around a central stalk. What an aroma! I lack the words to describe how delectable it was. Sweet, fruity, and light with just a hint of something tangy. Looking closer, I saw some berries growing on the stalk in the center of the flowers. Well, I just had to have them. So I started pushing my way through the flowers. Then the vines growing around the base of the plant began to twitch, and the blooms turned towards me. It was at that moment I saw the blooms weren't actually flowers, but hinged jaws. I'd been fooled by its camouflage. I quickly retreated and pushing my way back out just in time. The blooms slammed shut. If I had been standing there, trying in vain to reach the berries, I wouldn't be writing this book today. Watch out for the plants. I understand. I understand completely now. There's the waterlogged book. What else have we got? The Great Western Stag. One day, Eothas was sitting on a wall, watching a cat play in the sun. A crystal hung in a nearby tree had fragmented a sunbeam and scattered small motes of light on the ground. They danced around the cat, sliding over him as he frantically batted at them. He spun in place, following one as it rushed past him, and leapt on it, trying to pin it down. Eothas smiled, amused at the cat's tenacity. The cat landed on a spot, placing his paws over it only to watch it flit away again. Eothas watched the cat's tail twitch and slap at the ground, annoyed that his prey could not be pinned. "Why must you tease him?" a voice said from behind them, accompanied by the crunch of sandals on gravel. "I merely bring the dawn," Eothas responded. I don't stoke the hunter's heart. That's your responsibility, isn't it?" "True, but neither do you quell it. If the hunter could not see his prey, would he still hunt?" said a second voice. So, first voice is Galloway, and the second one, as we see, so philosophical. Hylia, Eothas said, and turned to greet the two gods that approached him. "Have you come to debate the parallel between sight and desire?" He gestured to the wall, inviting Hylia and Galloway to join him. They sat in silence, watching the cat who continued to hunt in the sun, or hunt the sun, fruitlessly swatting at another mote and rolling onto his back. "I have created the ultimate prey," Eothas said finally, breaking the silence. "It can be tracked, it can be followed, it can be seen, but it can never be caught." Galawain laughed lightly. "You don't agree, Galawain?" Eothas asked. "Well, it's true your creation is elusive. It hardly can be considered the ultimate prey, because it never can be caught." He paused, his brow furrowed in thought. "If that mote of light had substance, the hunter could subdue it. Otherwise, it's merely a dream. Truly a fruitless endeavor." "All creatures spend their lives chasing fruitless endeavors," said Hylia. "It is the way of mortality." Galloway laughed again. "I could create a living creature of flesh and blood, that could never be caught. I'd make your dream a reality." Now it was Eothas' turn to laugh. "You propose turning a fruitless dream into fruitless reality. How is this any better? A life spent in pursuit of an attainable goal far exceeds any other. But you just said no one could catch this creature. This is not attainable." Galloway smiled. "Humanity has surprised us before. Indeed, it could surprise us again. I'll create a great white stag and I will set it free in the world. It will have grace, resilience, and tenacity. It will exist purely to be pursued for all its days, and will never be caught. It will serve to inspire the hunt for generations to come. All those who wish for glory will invoke my name. All those who hear its story will ask for my blessing in finding it." Hylia shook her head and threw Galloway a bemused look. "I do not believe this is possible, so I too make an offer. To the person who catches the stag, and they will catch the stag, I will bestow upon them its grace, resilience, and tenacity. Thrice blessed they will be. They will ask for my blessing on the hunt so they can obtain my boon." Galloway and Hylia took up arguing whose name would be invoked more when the hunt was on. Eothas sighed, a small smile playing at the edges of his mouth. He stood and looked to the sky. The sun had already started to hide itself behind the mountains. The cat, long ago tired of stalking the moats, had fallen asleep beneath the tree. He turned and looked at the other gods deep in debate and sighed again. "I merely bring the dawn," he repeated as he made his way down the path. "It is up to you to see what I reveal." So I think that this is meant to be a tale in-world of how Galloway and Hylia and Eothas came upon their different roles. Galloway being a god of the hunt, Hylia being a god of kind of arts and beauty, I think, and then Eothas being, you know, the god of the dawn. He has a better title, but I've forgotten. They just say Dawn Treader here. That might be his title, but yes. Anyway. Nothing is lost, the search for Okaizo. Excerpted from the collected journals of Wanamora Wave Chaser. The Ranga's men came to collect my portion of the prize share this morning, and I had nothing to give them again. I make no money for the tribe, though I am always in my little ferry boat, Grey Gull, carving through the waves. At night I get no sleep. Waitaro asked me to conserve the lamp oil to come to bed, but I can't, not until I find it. I know it's out there, the lost city of Okaizo. On every chart and map of the Deadfire I've found, whether Huana, Valian, or Rawatayan, there is a gap, an empty space where so much of our history should be. Did it burn to ash and cinders in the cataclysm? Did it sink below the waves? Does Nagati catch it in her breast at the bottom of the sea? Perhaps it's lost and wandering like me, unmoored, looking for a home it can't remember, but for which some insistent longing burns in its chest, an ember always smouldering, a little fire to push it on. Waitaro wants me to give it up, but how can I? On mornings when the sky is so clear I can hardly catch my breath for the beauty of it. I think I see it out there, shimmering in the brightening blue light. Is it a taunt or a beckoning? Would I be able to tell the difference? I ask the fisher folk when they return with their catch at sunset. Teber, I say, did you see anything? Or you, Mabori? About you, Puira? They avoid me now. Waitaro says that they're busy, but I know they think I'm died sick and sun-addled. The way Puira's lip curls in disgust when I approach, the way Tibera's eyes seem to see right through me, I know. They won't have to suffer me much longer, because tomorrow I'm taking Grey Gull and sailing north. Someone has to chase the old tales, so I will. Okay, cool. Annals of the Pargrunen. It was in the time of Edrahil the Sure-Footed that we came to Cleaban Rigal, an ancient place of the builders as the locals call them. It was a marvellous sight, a door in the mountain framed by a pair of ghoulish aspects. Through some exercise of trickery or cunning, Edrahil was able to gain access for our scholars, that we might observe and record what lay inside. We discovered a foundry of sorts, the like of which neither we nor our distant brethren had seen. Through careful observation, we surmised that the ancients had used this place to extract souls and transfer them to suits of armour, delicate and challenging work, yet the scale they had achieved left us humbled and astounded. Perhaps most remarkable were the golems, living suits of armour, powered by essence. We lost 2 of our fellows when the creatures caught us unawares, but once we subdued them, they proved quite fascinating. All too aware that our hosts would never again allow us, nor the other curious travellers, to visit this place, we took meticulous notes and measurements of all we saw, forsaking bread and sleep until the work was done. We reported all to Edrahil, whereupon he praised our work and urged us quickly forward. For if such a place lay abandoned in the forest, who can say what other mysteries gods and kith have left in the strange, wild land? I get the feeling I've read that before, which probably means, as is tradition, that's from Pillars. What about this book? How do I get to that one? Do I have to run and jump for that book? Maybe I do it this way? Then I press the button at the right height? That must be it. Oh, there we go. History of the Living Lands 3. Glossolalia. Okay. In the ruins of Ukaizo, the great city of the ancient Huana in the Deadfire, I once found a curious inscription. The inscription was written in 3 languages and arranged in a circle around a small pool of water. 2 of the languages were unknown to me. The first of these scripts was largely runic, rounded and orderly. It looked like it was meant to be painted rather than chiseled into stone. It put me to mind of the architecture of Engwith, and with its frequent arches and odd conjuration of angles. The other language branched off one long stem. This was curious. At first, I thought I was meant to read it left to right, but the character shapes didn't have any flow that felt intentional. It wasn't until I tilted my head that I understood. I was attempting to read it on its side, that I was instead meant to read it from top to bottom, and likely right to left. Fascinating. I have seen nothing like it in all Eora. The third of the scripts I recognized. It was near ancient Huana, a language I'd studied idly in my youth. I had been obsessed with its more logiographic predecessor, far ancient Huana, for many years. What a pleasure at last to see something I knew. After a few hours of meditation, I recall enough of the alphabet to take a stab at a transcription. Kawinguru o Waturi te Katora ne ki pi nui o Ukaizo ne kingi o kingi kane no anoa a nagati kua ete ene heno ki aki katinga. Wingaro o Watura, king of Ukaizo, the king of kings. It has a cadence of a dedication. Could this last inscription be the key to deciphering the 2 other unknown languages? Yeah, no way I'm letting that one pass. No way. Right, back this way. Back over here. Where are we? Yeah, okay. Back to the surface. Alright, what did it say? So, back to the journal. Documents. It's not Paradise, it's Dawnshore? Maybe it is Lore. It's Lore. There we go. Wingaro Owutara, King of Okaizo, the King of Kings. Yeah. Okay. So if we go back down to this one, let's read it the same way. Yul, Hezia, Yazua, something, something, something in Gwitten. I think it's a similar type script. I think it's a dedication to a particular person. The Ingwitten? Okay. So is that everything in this section before I move on? You know what I could do?
One moment.
That is indeed everything in this section, at least in terms of loot. There's stuff over there that we need to loot, but that's okay. On the fire-forged path, the travels of Jarek Yilton. The book is well worn and smells faintly of mildew. Its spine is cracked, and as you thumb through the book's pages, it falls open to a folio more ragged and dog-eared than the others. Though I was born and raised a Magranite, and a Magranite now, I will stay. As a young man, I undertook a pilgrimage to visit a holy house dedicated to every god. In so doing, I hoped to know them each the better, to take what they had to teach and sow it into my soul like so many seeds, that my soul might grow and bear only the most delectable fruit for my goddess to devour at the moment of my death. So it is with no small amount of amusement that I pen this account of my visit to a church of Wael, the many-eyed, many-tongued god of dreams and secrets, revelations and mysteries, and reveal to you all I learn there. The challenge came first in finding adherents to Wael's doctrine, for they are not often ones to announce their presence, preferring instead to build their flock from the solitary seekers who delve through the ancient ruins and ruined archives in search of strange, the bizarre, the forgotten. But persistence is my goddess's first teaching, and find them I did. The Waelites' Nekatakan congregation was small then, as it likely remains now, and on the morning I stumbled upon them, they were lounging like so many cats in the sun on steps above Queen's berth, sharing between them a bottle of arrack and pipes packed with white leaf and ripple sponge. I knew them for Waelites, not for any badge or robe or trinket they wore, not for their race or age, but for the adder of their debate on the most benign of topics. I begged that they take me to their church and permit me to worship with them, and they laughed as one. Their many voices like the howling of wild dogs. They acquiesced when I told them of my quest, and then invited me to sit and share their drink. I did, and as the arrack burned a trail down my of fire down my throat, they showed me the dimensions of their hall of worship. The stairs were their pews, they said, the blue sky their ceiling, and their walls the edges of the world. All of creation sits within its bounds. As morning neared midday, they stood as one and began to climb the mountain. "Where'd you go now?" I asked. "To worship," they replied. A great wave of relief washed over me, for at last I would have my lesson from them. We climbed the many steps of Nekataka and arrived at last in the sacred stair. "Where is your temple?" I asked, and in response they whooped like children, rushing past me in a squall of smoke and laughter. I followed as best I could, though I wet my good slippers in a stream and could hardly keep my feet on the moss-slick stones, and we surged, soggy-footed and hollering into the temple of Guan. To worship, they cried. We shoved past dawn stars bent in praise of the macabre god, laughing all the while, and came to stand before a leafless tree, whose boughs were hung in lanterns too numerous to count. I had nary a moment to catch my breath before the Waelites were clambering into the great tree's branches. A young man pulled me up with one hand and handed me a pipe with the others. The priests of Guan screeched and wailed, and all the while we squawked like birds, our smiles wide and eyes alight with arak and lantern fire. The Mataru came soon after to chase us away, but not before we'd done our share of singing to the many-eyed, many-tongued god of dreams. Would that I could have stayed with them a while longer, but alas, I could not deny my soul its journey, nor the whispers of my goddess in my ear. I took again to the road in search of churches, but I must admit, ever after I longed always after for that tree. Yeah, so because Waelites are like god of dreams and mysteries, it kind of makes sense they don't have a proper temple. If there was just somewhere you could go for answers, then, you know, you would just, like, that wouldn't be a mystery, would it? The collected annals of Lengrath. Whomever copied this work appears to have been in a great hurry, as if they feared being caught. The gods stripped us of who we are on every turn about the wheel, mercilessly shaving off all we've learned of their divine lathes. We retain the pale shadows of our souls, but knowledge, memory, self, all of it's cut away. Do the gods fear we might someday rival their strength if they do not? The trees of Eothas possess souls as strong as any kith, and their entangled roots extend for miles. But dig beneath any of them, follow those roots and you'll see. They don't end but lead to a neighbour. There are many souls sharing one body. Why shouldn't a willing kith be able to do the same? A limb may be grafted from one tree to the trunk of another, and in time they'll bear sweeter fruit together than either might have alone. Mightn't it be possible then to graft a scion's soul into the rootstock of a willing kith? The souls wouldn't fracture but coalesce, they grow stronger together. The gods see fractured souls, but they don't care for them. Damaged, broken people are abandoned by their makers to twist in the wind, given no succor, no relief. Would an intentionally fractured soul be similarly inconsequential to them? I'll use their apathy against them. I'll make their disdain serve me. The grafted soul is obscured from the sight of the gods. It spreads freely like a brood fever, but doesn't kill its host. No, I will be a fervor of the spirit. Invisible, unstoppable, eternal. I don't know why. I mean, in principle, it seems like that might be fine. And it seems like that might be a bad idea. Much like leaving spider eggs around. Bad idea. Please destroy that for me. To see if we got anything else over here. It almost looked like something, but it's not. Lots of spidery stuff there. We know we got loot somewhere over here. Or we saw loot. Oh, it's probably this. Right. Yeah. Oh, more spider eggs to get. I still don't know if there's any reason to destroy them. I don't know. Maybe if you destroy like 100, you get something. Goodbye, pots. Right. Any more books, or are we done? Yes, of course there are more books. In fact, there's many. Let's see what we're going with first. Ooh. How about the statue schematic? This drawing details plans for the creation of a large statue powered by essence. The essence is intended to be injected into the statue by an array of animantic devices. Where such a vast store of essence might come from, what a statue could do with it is unclear. Okay. Well, I'm assuming it's coming from the relic, but I could be wrong. This one? The Life and Discoveries of Pandgram. Mention the name Pandgram to anyone with even a passing knowledge of animancy, and you could find yourself in for a long discussion. Publicly reviled, but privately lauded as a hero and genius, Pangram's history is at turns revolutionary, horrific, and mysterious. Pandgram was fascinated, some might say obsessed, with the concept of animancy. It consumed his life as he dedicated everything to understand it. He would frequently travel to Eothas and Adirwood to visit the Ingwithan ruins. There, he would take notes and make sketches, bring anything back with him that he could to help him unlock the mysteries. After years of study, Pandgram had reached the point where he could no longer conduct research on his own, and he soon took on an assistant, Helig of Thain. Soon Helig was making trips to Eothas in Pangram's stead. gathering knowledge, while Pandgram stayed behind to experiment. This partnership quickly bore fruit, and Pandgram made a breakthrough, one that would irrevocably change his life and the general attitude about animancy forever. While the specifics of its experimentation will never truly be known, the rumors and stories that still circulate tell that he had sent out inquiries asking for live subjects to help with a dangerous experiment that might change their life, or might end it. Those who were already dying were especially encouraged to apply. Response was overwhelming, and Pandgram had his pack of numerous willing bodies. That is, when he had his breakthrough, he discovered a way to fix a soul, anchoring it to its body so it couldn't leave at death. He had discovered eternal life. His research and life's work had resulted in the greatest single discovery that animancy could hope for. His findings were published and quickly spread throughout Valia and beyond. While some groups, the Wodekin Church for example, decried his work as nothing more than blasphemy and heresy, many put it to practice. Everyone wanted a chance at immortality. This sounds very similar to the previous bit of lore that we just read. You know, anchoring a soul to its body here sounds very similar to the soul's talk that was happening before. Yeah, interesting. Did not say grafting here as well? I thought it did, but that might have been in the previous one. Anyway, doesn't matter. Moving on. But everything comes with a cost. It quickly became apparent that simply restraining the soul while keeping the person technically alive was doing nothing for the body, was continued to decay, devolving and warping the soul now trapped inside it. The creatures it created were dangerous, carnivorous beasts that killed brutally and indiscriminately. The backlash was ruthless. The practice of Pangram's discoveries was outlawed. His works were collected and burned. He and Helig were branded heretics and hunted, chased from town to town until Pandgram simply vanished. Helig was tracked down, captured and brought to trial for the atrocities committed against Valia and its people. The trial was barely more than a formality to bring charges against him, as everyone knew what hand he had played in the disaster. He was sent to prison for years, but eventually released once public outrage died down. Not long after his parole, he disappeared as well. Occasionally talk surfaces that a copy of Pangram's theorems had been found, untouched by the purging flames that destroyed its brothers. These rumours seldom end up being more than that. Many groups and wealthy individuals have formed, sending out a call to anyone who will listen. Find us a copy of the theorems. They offer gold, jewels, status, anything they can entice adventurers to help them achieve. Anything they can to entice adventurers to help them achieve their goals. For there are those who would give anything for a chance at immortality, even becoming a monster. Alright. Well, back to some more mindless destruction of spiders. Cool. And we have Eothasian prayer. And the sun shall break through the darkness, the new dawn arriving with the rebirth of the day. Rejoice, all ye who dwelleth in the shadow, who are broken and beaten. The winter soon comes to an end. Spring shall rise, bringing light and life to the world. Radiant light, radiant life, and thy soul shall find warmth in his arms. All creatures bask in his glory. The rays of his countenance bathe the world, bringing an end to the night, ushering in the day. Kneel before him and wonder at his benevolence. Feel the warmth of his radiant presence. If thou art broken, he shall make thee whole. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee to light. If thou art sinful, thou shalt be reborn. If thou art cold, his warmth shall bolster thee. How canst I, so lowly and worn, speak words of proper adulation? Thine eyes, whose gaze sees the sin in me, yet still shows love. Thine hands, whose grip pulls me out of the darkness. Thine ears, listening to my every prayer. Thine heart, bright as the dawn, giving me warmth when I am raw. Eothas, light of spring, sun of the world, thou givest me life and purpose. If thine heart be black, if thine intention be impure, thy life is forfeit. For he hath seen, he can see, he will see. Nothing is hidden from his glory. His light touches every corner of the world. Nothing is hidden from his sight. If thou dost thy work in the dark, if thou wouldest keep thine actions hidden, thou shalt be burned in the sun of the new dawn. Day comes soon. Prepare for the dawn. Nothing is hidden from his reach. This is kind of interesting. If thou doest thy work in the dark, if thou wouldest keep thine actions hidden, thou shalt be burned in the sun of the new dawn. Is that not what Sargamas is doing? I mean, this temple is hidden. His actions are hidden. Shall he be burned in the sun of the new dawn? Just a thought. And then, the Deerwood, Part 5, the proliferation of animancy. Animancy, outlawed while under Aedir rule, was technically no longer taboo after Hadrit's rebellion. Academics began its study in earnest in 2681 AI. By 2697 AI, there were almost 40 academics actively researching the field both in the Deerwood and the Vailian republics, even though no significant results had been discovered. A tragic breakthrough of sorts happened in 2704 AI. An animancer working in Balereach accidentally shattered the souls of about a dozen volunteers who had been helping him. In retaliation for the deaths, the citizens of the area stormed his house and killed him. The Earl of the region, not wanting to waste resources or anger the locals any more than they already were, did nothing to find the head of the vigilante mob, but neither did he outlaw animancy. To ensure their own safety, most animancers moved from the rural areas where they were studying and settled in Defiance Bay, many of them choosing the emerging and wealthy district of Brackenbury as their new home of operations. Defiance Bay was basically the first big city that you went to in Pillars 1. When I say big city, there was a town you went to first, I believe, but this is where it was like, no, now you've got a ton of different options. But I think for me it was also something like 40 hours plus into the game when I'm talking about a big city that you get to, so, you know, there was a lot of game before you get there. Anyway. While there were still a few breakthroughs and the study of animancy continued for the next 24 years, it quickly slowed as it became cost prohibitive and complicated the more people learned about it. Most animancers couldn't afford to continue research without the support of donations or gifts from wealthy individuals or organizations. In 2737 AI, some animancers, desperate to continue their studies and seeing no other means of furthering their research, entered the forbidden ruins of Erdlanfath to further their research. They discovered some such sites had strange artifacts that seemed to bear affinity to soul essence and began to prod at the devices for further insight. Even with continued research, they were unable to tell quite what they have discovered. Eventually, they were found out by the Glenfathans, who captured some of them, demanding they be punished for their crimes. The Deerwooden authorities, in order to maintain their treaties and keep the peace, had no choice. They allowed the animancers to be executed according to Glenfathan traditions. This led the Duke to make an additional proclamation. The study and practice of animancy on, or even near the sacred Glenfathan sites would be punishable by death. In 2780 AI, in order to solidify relations again with the Glenfathans, the Deerwooden government allowed some animancers to begin training and experiments in conjunction with the Glenfathan Mindhunters, their native ciphers. This was an exchange of information. The animancers documented the secrets of the Mindhunter powers. The Mindhunters learned new techniques for concentration, which assisted them in taking their powers to a level no Glenfathan had seen before. The ciphers, no longer wary of the animancers' intentions, trusted them to such a level they convinced the Glenfathans to give some animancers limited access to some of the training sites where the Glenfathans practiced. The Ananfaths of the Glenfathan tribe opened the training grounds to the animancers. They were not allowed inside, as this was still strictly forbidden, but the general allowances by the Glenfathans were seen as a breakthrough in relations between the Deerwood and Erdlenfath. Over the next 8 years, the animancers' research would continue unimpeded. With the exception of some minor squabbles, there had been no major strife between the two groups for almost 120 years since. Cool. And that's all pretty much lore from Pillars 1. But it is interesting what lore it's choosing to give you at what time. I think that's the most interesting thing about this. It's not necessarily that they're giving you the lore, it's just why are they giving you that lore now? Like, what specifically about now leads you to know that lore from the previous games? It's interesting to theorize where it's going. I think we got everything in here. Is that correct?
One moment.
I hope we got everything in here. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Put that away for now. Okay. A little bit of a stream coming down here. Definitely signs of life.
Then again, I never needed to come down here before, so there's that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bit of a civilization down here, but as Sir Gammas told us, there used to be all sorts of godlikes who came and visited here as well, so it's not, you know, surprising. Around to the left. Ooh, what's this? We'll have that. I think those are Zurups I can hear. We'll get back to that in a second. That is Zurups I can hear. Oh, and a water beetle. I think I want to take out that guy first. How am I going to do that? Okay, I have an idea. So I'm going to go...
What are we dealing with here?
Thorns beside violets, essence twisted.
Followed by one of these. Perfect. Ow. Well, that seemed to work. So I sent Kai up the top to shoot them down, and that killed it. Nice. Oh. That wasn't too bad.
One for us.
Grab that. Right. Oh, and that's the path that we saw previously. Oh, cool. Getting a rough idea of the area now, actually. I thought I saw something that was red here, but there might have just been something I could destroy. That's okay. Let's read this. I hope that in coming to this place, standing before the Splinter and turning my mind to prayer, that I would feel something. I would experience the solace the other godlights speak of, the state they call grace. But my dreams remain silent as this eerie, godless tomb, and I am ashamed to feel so lonesome and bereft. To truly love the gods is to be faithful to the void. That's what the oracle tells me. If I look outside myself to the here and now, for that is which I desire, that I will always remain unsatisfied. I must go down into myself, into the still, wide emptiness to discover that I already have everything I need. The many voices of Wael I wish would whisper in my ear. Even had I heard them, they would not be evidence of their love. That evidence persists already in my soul, in the void to which I have not been true, and it has from the moment they plucked my soul from the wheel and gave it unto my body to be born. It is the chime. The chime is evidence of their love, and if it is all I have of them, then I should fall to my knees in gratitude, for it is more than most kith will get. But to know the solace that I seek, then I must give up my desire for their love, and learn to love the void. Okay. I think that this is a follower of Wael struggling with the fact that there are no answers, but their god is a god of mysteries, so wouldn't give them answers. So they're saying the only way that they can truly be at one is to embrace the fact that they do not know like the stuff that they want to know, essentially, right? And they cannot know it. It's kind of like a catch-22 a little bit. Okay, so up there is where it wants me to go. Must have walked over some essence or something. Right here, can I get there? Doesn't look like it, but that's definitely somewhere I could be, right? Yeah, kind of looks like it there. Somewhere in the back here? Yeah, I can hear loot. Alright, so I can see that loot there. So how do I get there? Didn't seem like it was letting me jump from this side, but I can try again. Unless you have to jump from here. Yeah, I could almost see you having to jump from there, but let's just try again. Let's try jumping. No. Is there anything I can jump off of? Maybe this? It doesn't feel right. Like, that doesn't look like something you jump off of. This feels like something I loop back round to. Yeah. Or get to from this direction. Ah, I see. Yeah, I get to it from there. Okay. Oh. Switch. Lightning. Not close enough, huh? Well. Seems like a good time for a run and jump. Don't worry about it, Kai. I wasn't. He was only saying aim where because I was pressing the 3 button. Okay, I think I know what I need to do here. It does occasionally at times seem like there's like abilities we don't have yet in terms of traversal. Like it almost feels like there should be like a float ability for a temporary amount of time, but we'll see. So I want to do this and... Did that work? No. Is there something I can throw for this? There's probably something I can throw for this. That's the actual answer, right? Let me try that. Is it easier to do it through here or through the other way? It is probably easier to do it through the menu. Although throwables... Oh, maybe this way? There we go. Electric lily seed. So that is open that thing, but I still don't know what that's actually opened for us. Let me just switch back to this thing for now. That's almost makeable, I think. Although usually it does a little bit of a magnetism if you are actually close enough to something you can grab onto. But let's try this again. Right at the edge? Ugh, no, that's close, but I don't think you're meant to get in there from that direction. I think actually you're meant to get in there from this direction. Okay. Well, let's continue.
Repose, a pulse beating out of time. Should it be disturbed?
Pulse beating out of time, should it be disturbed? Huh. Consecration prayer. With this leaving of his precious body, we commemorate our glorious God with all his saints. Let's commend ourselves and one another and our whole life to Eothas at the Dawn Treader. I did say he's the Dawn Treader, obviously. For this holy house and for those who enter it with faith, reverence, and the fear of our God, we consecrate this temple in his name. Eothas, have mercy on our souls. Okay. So the pulse could be talking about Eothas, I suppose. This also definitely looks like a combat room, but I could be wrong. Also, just so that I don't accidentally do this. There we go, we'll switch back to grenades.
If it weren't for the creepy oracle and the invading roots, this place would be kinda nice.
Kinda. Is there anywhere I can get to from over here? No. Is there a map of this area? No. It seems like I should be able to go to the right at some point, but Not sure if I am. Yeah, I'm not sure if I am able to go to the right at some point. Unless you've got to go all the way around there. And then you can get across to there, which then lets you get across to there, which then lets you get to where you need to go. That seems like a lot of steps. Can I climb this? Probably, right? Nope. That's actually a no in terms of climbing that. Alright, well. We're going to have to just note it and come back. Okay. Alright. This way. Run over some pots. Run over some more pots. Well, I don't see a reason why I wouldn't. And over here. Just because I could, I felt I should do that as well. Don't really know why I did it. I guess if we were being attacked, that would probably have been useful to, like, blow up. But, anyway. I've done it now. Just keep destroying random pots, looking for any potential loot. Got one of two things here. That must be the relic.
Can't be as easy as just grabbing it, can it?
Probably
I
not.
haven't been in a lot of ancient ruins, but you don't have to be an expert tomb robber to think this is probably a trap.
Yeah. Also, where's the expedition? If we're at the end of the path, like, where's the expedition gone? Oh ho ho! A whole sarcophagus? Ooh, it's the same as every other bit of loot, but it had more pomp and circumstance. That's cool. Okay. Let's head back this way. Yeah, we've got this path as well, which is a blocked door. You see why it is barred? Don't know if we can see why it's barred from here. I'm tempted to pick this up. Let's do a quick save. Let's pick up the Splinter of Eothas. Oh wait, is it through here? Aha!
Have I mentioned that I think it's a terrible idea?
What? Going through back this way? What's so terrible about this?
Take your best shot.
Okay. Couldn't really see what I was fighting, so just thought I'd start attacking. We good? Think so. And more loot. Oh, and now we can grab that as well. And that lets us unbar the door. And it still doesn't lead round to the place where we thought it might lead. Good. Well, I guess all we've got to do is grab this. Let's see.
False item. It waits.
Well, that's not good.
Something's moving in the main chamber.
We better get moving too.
Those appear to be skeletons. Alright. Guys, I have an idea. Aha! They'll never see it coming. That's also not loot. But if we go around this way now... We also have 3 objectives now. Speak to Offric, continue searching for the Eothasian expedition, return to the Oracle. Oh, right, we're fighting. Oh, alright. Hit him. Extremely blasted. There's only one left. Another one up here. Perfect. And blast it. Where's the next one? There's the next one. Godless Executioner. Oh. Hold him in place. One of these. And then clap the book on them. We have to do our powerful attack. How are you healing? Whoa, 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 whoa. Healing is cheating. He's back to full. Oh, that's not good. And round this way. Drink. And over here. And drink. Up this way.
Hey, over here. Right.
Blast that one. Hold them still. You want to be out of melee range, Marius? Ideally. I would be out of melee range if I were you. And I am. This guy's the healer. Right. I forgot that they could actually heal. That is kind of cheating. And now we blast them. Oh, Adra.
Here we go.
Oh. Got the monk. And blast them. Oh. One more up here.
Who's ready for more? That ought to be all of them, right?
Right.
I think I sprained my shoulder.
Oh. That was difficult, but only because I didn't realize there was a healer. If I'd noticed that, that would have made life a lot easier. I thought it was just self-healing and it was a mechanic I was missing. No, there was just a healer standing off to the side. Okay, cool. Adra. Take it. Right. Been through here before. Let's continue out, shall we? Now, has it changed something out here for... Oh.
Wael must have flooded during that earthquake.
Oh, it flooded, did it? Well, that makes it easier. Well, this is the mechanic I was missing. It's one we've already seen. Ah. Well, that lines up then. Ooh. One of those. One of those, so it gave us some potions back after a fight. That makes sense. Destroy that. Open the chest. Grab all of that stuff. Nothing under there. Right. And now we can jump over this way. And that lets us up to the top part. Which we heard looted. Ooh. Weird bit of black smog there. Oh, and this bit we can just swim into now. I see. And that lets us get the loot. Aha. Do I need to go all the way around now to get back to where we were? No, I should be good. Oh, I could... As with always, I find the quick way up without... Or the low resource way up afterwards. Come on, my accuracy is terrible with this. Alright. Wait a second. Got it. That now lets us get up here. Lets us run over here. Then we can run up. Ah. Oh, then we can run back this way. Back over here. And then round the back here. To a big chest. Which has... You know it's the same loot as all the other chests, but, you know. It's still nice to open it. Feels good. Down this way. Ow. Well, probably had that coming. So 3 ways to go. B is continue searching. C is return. A is go to Offric, which is basically ignore everything in the dungeon and just leave. Alright, I just want to see if this is a shortcut out. No, so this is not a shortcut out that way. We could potentially go back the way we came to get to the Oracle, or we can go this way, which will no doubt lead to the Oracle anyway, but give us some extra info. Also, is that an A I see there? That implying the expedition core has been this way? I don't know if they do that, but just spotted it. Ooh. Some weird purple. Anyone in here? Hopefully not. It is kind of falling apart. You almost hear something through there. That is definitely a door. Like, that is door-shaped. Let's see if we can follow one of these. Oh, we can. Ow. One on the right then? Yup. That looked door-shaped to me.
Something's not right here. Take a look around.
One moment.
There's loot here. That's right. Something's very right here, Kai. Oh, that's not good. Gedda's journal? New orders came down from Darren today. We're to be sent to the Living Lands. The diplomatic corps has established an embassy in the port city of Paradise, and they need support cataloguing the unusual ruins there. No doubt it will take months, perhaps a year or two at the very least. I had promised Rudwin I'd be in High Crown to celebrate Nestu with him and the children, especially since it'll be Miri's coming of age, but how often are you given the opportunity to lay the foundation of study for a previously undiscovered ancient culture? I'm sure you'll understand. And Miri, well, I think my daughter will be glad I'm gone. It's not like the gods are making new continents. The world's getting smaller every day. So, 14 days later, it seems as though the moment I finally get my sea legs, we're pulling into the harbour. And a charming harbour it is, despite what Darren told me. And not nearly so dangerous as the clerks in High Crown warned. I swear on the Queen, half of my countrymen resent any city that isn't the Emperor's purely on principle. There was a letter waiting for me when I arrived at the embassy. I suppose Woodwin had sent it before I left. The cowards filed for dissolution of our marriage, but he couldn't muster the stones to tell me to my face. Let him assume it never arrived, for I certainly won't dignify it with a reply. This whole episode has given me a blinding headache, a horrible pinching sensation right behind the eyes. 4 days later. We've had a few days to settle into life at the embassy while the powers that be argue about how best to make use of us. While I was resting, the ambassador's clerk took the scouts to some dreadful little swill house in the rough part of town. Naturally, a couple of the younger lads poisoned themselves with alcohol. The mother in me wants to be furious, but I can hardly muster the energy. As long as Ulfric's avoiding his stomach in the canals and instead of the bunkhouse, it's not my business after all. I think I'll take the team to Fort Northreach, see if we can help their archivist identify the purpose of the godless ruins there. I'm assuming 10 days later, but it might be significantly longer. I don't know what month it is. Blessed New Year. The team acquitted themselves well at the fort. With Caedmon's help, I was able to get down into the basement of ruins there and take a good look at the construction. Naturally, I left the notes I took at the fort. I feel like I can hardly think these days, but I believe I remember enough of what I learned to write a satisfactory report for the ambassador. Could those ruins have been the site of a fertility temple? I mean, goodness, look at the shape of their buildings. The steel garrote's inquisitor attached to the embassy has uncovered a rumour of a holy relic in a cave here at Dawnshore, and she suggested we might want to investigate. Now, the fact that these people were at Fort Northreach, and the fact that she's saying that, you know, she could hardly think, definitely implies they had some of that mushroom rot thing going on, or the dream scourge, but yeah, we don't see it on their bodies necessarily, but I'll have another look afterwards. I know I should be eager to get down there to explore, but I've hardly been able to get out of my bedroll since we've returned to Paradise. I'll bet there's a cursed tablet with my name on it, and that Ruthwin's installed at the Temple of Skane back in High Crown. Nothing else could explain the hideous nightmares I've been having. Mushrooms erupting from my skin. Yeah, she's got the dream scourge. My eyes replaced by quivering stalks, Miri turning into a tree, Ruthwin splitting in hair and opening like a flower. No matter what drug I take or which god I pray, they refuse to go away. So this is like at least over a month later. I collapsed while we were growing up on the market. None of the merchants would help me off the ground. One of them muttered something about a soul plague and ran off to tell his mates. I tried to tell the man I wasn't sick, just going through a divorce, but I couldn't speak. It was like my tongue had turned to mud. The Inquisitor pulled me aside when the boys got back to the embassy. She was able to press the locals for more about the relic. Apparently it was taken from Eothas' Titan skeleton, the very one I made my reputation discovering. It's well known for its ability to heal anyone who holds it. I cannot delay any longer. I must find it.
Well, we found the expedition. Looks like they've only been dead a few hours. But how did they get in here?
They didn't come the same way we did. I'll remind you we had to swim here. And look, there's no way these people died of natural causes. Murder usually leaves a mark.
It's like every member of the expedition team just collapsed.
I've seen something like this before in the creation of animats. Oh. Do you think they could have died because of Sir Gabus up above? The plans in the Oracle's workshop were too complicated for a simple statue? Yeah. Let's say the top one.
Do I even want to know what an animat is?
An animancer could explain it better, but they're basically suits of armor brought to life by bound souls.
Right. I knew I didn't want to know.
The Oracle couldn't have put the expedition's souls in the statue of Eothas, right?
Could the Oracle's plan have something to do with Eothas' vanishing at Ukaizo?
There's still a lot of debate over what even happened at Ukaizo.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps the Oracle knows the truth, or perhaps he's just as lost as we are. Eothas is a dangerous god associated with Eora's bloodiest wars, and he recently killed thousands of people in Deadfire. Now, we have a piece of him, and we're about to face a maniac who wants it desperately. Tread carefully.
Well, that is unfortunate. Yeah, we did get a lot of books talking about animancy and eternal life. And he did say he was dying at some point, didn't he? Said something to that effect. Seems, like he may be experimenting on some of the same sort of stuff. Like, if he can bring an Eothas back to life, maybe then he could, live for a longer amount of time, extend his life. Keep destroying pots, because we can. Although this might even be too many pots for me. Is there an easier way of doing it? If I do this, doesn't destroy pots, huh? Just stuns enemies. Huh. Anyway. Yeah, so even though they might have had the Dream Scourge, they don't look like they actually turned. Like, look at the bodies here. They definitely have not turned yet. They may have been experiencing the experiencing the dreams, but they hadn't actually, you know, changed. Well, that's definitely some skeletal remains. So these aren't the first people who were here either. Right, keep blowing this up. I think I might have destroyed enough, but let's see if we can even climb up there. Yeah, I think we destroyed enough there. Let's read on Binding of Souls. The margins of this text are scribbled with notes and references. The ink-stained pages appear to have seen much use in earlier times. The removal and transference of souls is a practice both ancient and sophisticated. There is evidence that the Ingwithans were particularly adept at this, yet few details survive them. Someone scrawled Annals of the Pargrunen, page 382-6 below this paragraph. What is known is that the removal of a soul is a difficult process and one that requires an expert hand and precise tools for any chance of success. Early attempts on a test pool of 138 goats left most of the subjects with maimed or fractured souls. In all but 2 of the 11 instances where the soul was successfully removed, the essence dissipated before scholars could capture it. The words transfer to holding vessel are written and underlined in the margin. The process requires conductive materials, copper and adra specifically. Immersion in water is important to ensure the soul is drawn in a steady and uniform manner, with no distortions or breakages. A warped soul is at best useless and at worst unpredictable. Arrows point from this paragraph to a scrunch note. Extraction pool in CR, 18 foot wide by 3 foot deep. We've since mastered the process of soul transference and have seen the benefits of infusing forged work with the essence of animals and wilder. What remains to be seen is whether we might see greater gains from using the souls of Kith, where we would procure the appropriate subjects, and how much personality and autonomy we would want to leave intact in such cases. A string of notes winds around and below this paragraph, beginning with criminals, prisoners of war, volunteers, and ending with forge guardians in block letters. These notes are crossed out and below them is written, "But what of the divine soul?" So he's trying to find a way to bind a divine soul to a object. And we've read the Annals of Pargrunen, haven't we? That's in our documents. Yeah. And this is talking about the Foundry that they found, which can create golems, living suits of armor powered by essence. Yes. Nothing about this is screaming good news. Yeah, I'm not sure they want that we're really a fan of them bring back another Eothas, but well, sorry, I was trying to figure out if this was part of the puzzle, like whether you could tell which one you were meant to press based upon where these were. Maybe that's part of it. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, but yeah, I'm not sure that we want to bring back another Eothas, but I guess that he probably would.
Why does he come here? Why does he build the idol in this place?
Well, Voice, he builds the idol here because he wants to bind Eothas to it. That's what he wants to do. He wants to create a suit of armor that's got Eothas in it, essentially. Well, I'm definitely going to save. And then we're going to speak to Sargamas.
Blood could not stop him. Fealty or sickness?
I don't know what this guy's capable of, but I've got your back.
Alright. Hello there, Sargamas.
There you are. You have been gone some time. Do you carry the Splinter of Eothas?
Before we do that, let's start with there was an earthquake while I was in the temple. The place is flooded.
Yes, the earthquakes, and the roots that seem to always accompany them. They are not a new occurrence, I'm afraid. This land has always had an unstable quality to it. But it has worsened in recent years, grown violent. Is it my work the land abhors? Is it the arrival of your Emperor's soldiers? Or are these tremors merely the convulsions of this island's lone volcano? You will need the scientific minds of Emerald Stair to tell you, for I certainly cannot say. Whatever the cause, the disturbances are getting worse. I fear this whole place could collapse at any moment.
Before we tell him about the relic as well, I found the bodies of the expedition team in your workshop. Did you kill them?
I did not expect you to be so thorough in your explorations. Nevertheless, I am impressed. As to whether I killed them, well, that is a matter of semantics.
Uh-huh.
Does death occur the moment the heart ceases beating, or when the soul is broken upon the wheel? In one sense, then they are quite dead. In another, they remain very much alive. In either case, they have entered a state of change, and the impetus was mine.
So, I'm definitely gonna say that you killed them. A soul on the wheel is broken into its constituent parts. The person the soul once constituted is gone. Or you're going to put your souls into your statue, aren't you? I think we do Arcane Scholar. A soul on the wheel is broken into its constituent parts. The person the soul once constituted is gone.
If one were to take your narrow-minded view, and the expedition had encountered the wheel, then yes, they would be dead. But their souls are not bound for the wheel. You see, I have given them the opportunity to be part of something larger than themselves. Their essence is held safe within my devices, and with your help, I shall give them a new commission: to prosecute the redemption of a god.
By making them prisoners?
By making them jailers.
How do you expect to redeem Eothas?
Do you carry the relic I asked you to collect?
We haven't said we're going to give it to him. All we're going to say is yes, I do carry it.
Excellent. The relic you have retrieved was stolen from Eothas' body. He is bound to it, or it to him. And before the events at Ukaizo, he would speak to me through it. He speaks to me no longer, but I believe he resonates with the Splinter yet, as I do. If I am correct, when it is placed in the statue, the magnifying power of the Ardra will draw him into it, and he will be trapped. Locked into the reliquary with a chorus of furious souls acting as his conscience. He will finally begin the work of making right all the wrong he has done. All that is left is for you to place the Splinter into the statue's chest. Will you do it?
It does seem a little... I'm trying to think the right... It's a little hypocritical to be like, we shall make Eothas pay for what he has done. He shall right the wrongs, but we're going to do it by killing this bunch of people and then using their souls to do it. It's like, you do understand how you've further added to the wrongs by doing this, right? But, let's say, Kai, Marius, what do you think first?
Me? If I ever suggest helping some crazy Nimdu bring a statue to life for religious reasons, please kill me then and there.
Look, I'm all for second chances, but restoring the god who started the Saints' War and left a trail of corpses and dead fire? Even I can see that's a bad idea. And I can't imagine a worse fate than spending an eternity as one of those poor souls stuck with him. I've heard I can change him before.
What will happen to you if your god abandons his domain in the beyond?
I cannot say. But when I return to the wheel, I pray I do not see Eothas there, for it will mean that I have failed. You see, my brother, you must understand. I am willing to endure a life of greatest loneliness, so that he may repent.
Okay. Let's think about this. I'm thinking about this from how we want to play our character going forward, and the choices we have made up until this point. Because I find that if you make a consistent character and try and follow a path through the game as a consistent character, it tends to make a lot of games flow a lot better. So, what have we done so far? I'm trying to think of the moral choices we've had at big points in the story. In the initial dungeon, we let the person who was in prison come with us. But that wasn't really very much. It was basically like leave them to die or that they could come with us. There was no real choices there. For the assassin who tried to kill us, we let them stand trial. Or that we have chose for them to stand trial, with justice being our primary objective. Like our primary reason for things happening. We've also, throughout the story, been very curious. We have definitely been a little impassionate and a little focused on the whether something could be done and not why it shouldn't be done. So, in my head, I'm like, we could choose either option here, but it is definitely going to shape our character. Like, if we say yes to doing this, we are effectively saying that if it could lead to more interesting knowledge, then we are willing to give up the lives of these people, although they will already be given up. Effectively, we're willing to condemn them to a life of torture. I guess you could say the same thing about the, you could say the same thing about the assassin, right? We effectively condemned them to be tortured by the Steel Garrote. So, it could be that as long as it achieves our ideals, we're happy with a level of pain. Like, we're happy with other people experiencing a level of pain. Obviously, our character would be quite hypocritical in general then, but we're happy to help people, but if it achieves our goals, are we happy to sacrifice people? I guess we probably are. Now, if we had an option here which is, no, you have to go to the Steel Garrote and answer for your crimes, then I would be looking at that option, right? I'd be like, yeah, that's what we should do. But we don't have that option. Our options are, put the relic in a statue, or don't put the relic in a statue. At this point, the people are dead one way or the other. So what we're asking ourselves is, do we care about their immortal souls? Or do we want to know what happens? I think we probably value knowledge over their immortal souls. So I'm going to put the relic in the statue.
Thank you. Once you have placed the splinter into the statue, power my devices just over there. Together, we will observe the results.
Alright then. Yeah, they don't improve, but we gotta see what happens, right? But yeah, now we've made that choice, that is a canon choice for our character. We are now thoroughly, like, if there's a chance of gaining some kind of greater knowledge, we do it. That is now part of our, that's part of our choice, our decision-making process from here on, basically. I'm just seeing if there's anything else in here, by the way, that's, no, No, nothing else in here that's quite as crazy as that. But, yeah. He definitely, well, we already knew what the Splinter was going to do with Eothas. We just didn't know there were dead bodies.
There we are. Now, fill the statue with essence. Do me the honor of pulling the lever, just there.
Oh.
And my lord will return to face justice.
Why are you rubbing your hands like that? That's what an evil person would do right now. We're not evil, we're knowledge seekers.
Any moment. Oh. My god, Eothas. Are you there? No! It's not working! Something is wrong.
Did you put electricity in all the things so that it powered your device? Hello.
My lord Eothas has not returned. Something is missing from my design. Something I did not account for. It must be the chime. Without its ringing, he cannot hear the statue's call. My brother, will you join my holy work and lend your chime to the cause?
What is a chime? Or you must give up this mad plan, it's not going to work. This isn't the first time you've tried this, is it? I think I have to ask, what does that mean exactly?
I wish to remove your soul from your body, and through the power of animancy, place it in my statue.
Oh.
Where it will bask for all eternity in the obliterating light of my lord.
I told you we were going to be a hypocrite. Are you sure you wouldn't prefer Marius's or Kai's soul? I kind of want a quick save and see what he says to those ones. We might go back to the quick save and see what he says, but this isn't the first time you've tried this, is it?
No. This statue, its purpose, it has been the sole focus of my every waking moment from the instant Eothas left the world. The elaborate construction you see around us was not my original intent. It came with time. All the result of many tests and many failures.
That is how every major discovery is made.
Precisely. It seemed I was always a hair's breadth from success. Iron, blood, oil, ardra, essence. Now, the relic. The very body of a god. You see, there is always another parameter to adjust. But I believe success is near at hand. And you, rare and perfect you will be my last.
Sure, I'll let you put my soul in the statue. I have to say, I just want to know what happens.
You understand this will be fatal to your mortal frame?
How fatal are we talking? Fatal, fatal?
You will die. Forever.
That seems kind of not good.
There's nothing to fear. You won't feel a thing. Let's go. Oh no.
Oh, are we about to be dead? Very. No, I want to die so that I can be part of the statue forever. Well, that didn't work. Alright, I got some more things I want to try in that, which is why I let it go and just kill us. There's a lot of different options I want to try. I want to do the Kai Marius question. Whoa, not that one. This one? Let's try this one. But yeah, I want to try the Kai Marius questions, and I want to try the sacrificing ourselves questions. Alright, so we can do a quick save right after this, and it should be at the perfect moment. So,
There we are.
place it.
Now, to fill the statue with
Out.
essence.
Quick
Do me
save.
the honor of pulling the lever, just there.
Yep. Quick save.
And my lord
Pull it.
will return to face justice.
And then skip.
Moment. Something is wrong.
Actually, we can quick save here instead. This would be better. Perfect. Right, let's have a chat.
My lord,
Yeah, say, what do you mean? This isn't the first time you tried this. However, a major discovery is made.
You see,
How about you take Kai's soul instead?
What? Believe me, you don't want to put me in there with a god? I'll only make him worse.
though your friend is a child of the gods, he is not one of God's children, if you understand my meaning. Thus, he does not have a chime to give.
Oh, you can't say Marius in this one. Okay. Sure, I'll let you put my soul into the statue.
You understand?
Fatal? Great, I was hoping you'd say that.
What are you doing? This is a ploy, right? Blink twice if you want me to shank him while his back's turned.
Well, Kai, looks like you're the new envoy now. The old one's lost their resundant mind.
They don't understand the bond between the gods and their children. They don't understand the glory that awaits you.
Come on, we can run for it. He's hundreds of years old. He can't be that fast.
Right. Slowly turn toward the exit, and then just run. No way that old Kamayu can follow us.
They are frightened, but you are steadfast. If you are the person I believe you to be, go. Stand upon the dais, and prepare to meet my god.
Okay.
Day comes soon.
Stand beneath the animancy device. What, this one?
It's hidden from our reach.
Don't do this, envoy. You don't need to die here.
I think I do.
Come on. You don't have to do this.
Hold still now. You are about to be part of something in.
Well. Oh. Contemplate death achievement. Get the statue, envoy. Alright then. Does it just do a straight reload at that point? I kind of assume yes. Whoa. Wrong reload. It hasn't marked as an enemy on that reload, interestingly. There must be a lot of outcomes for this where he becomes your enemy. Which makes sense, really, given if you think about where this is going. Also, are there not, like, electrical things to destroy over here, or, like, to power over here? Did we not find these previously? Was there not an electrical thing over here for... Yeah, there was this thing. What happens if we power that?
Don't touch the generators.
Then there's, like, more other places as well, right? Does he just get really mad if you do that? Let's see what this does. I'm just curious about all the different outcomes of this now. Where it goes. So yeah, those... There's one that goes around the back here, right? Yeah. Then up here. Around this way. Is it down in there somewhere, or... Sure there's another one over here somewhere that we saw. Maybe it was up there. Now I'm starting to question where things are. But I think it was up here somewhere, right? No. Ow. I thought there were more of those, but maybe that was the only one we actually found. Yeah, maybe that was the only one we actually found, and we just found lots of other, Oh, no, there's one behind here. Okay, that makes him hostile. I see. So that's another way of making him hostile earlier. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. So that's if you want to do it without even speaking to him. Hello.
My lord,
Right. We say, what do you mean? We do. This isn't the first time. Do that one.
You see.
I'm going to suggest Marius's soul this time.
Oh, no. You don't want that. My soul's far too grisly.
Though your friend is
Yeah.
a child of thus.
Same thing. So we have these two options. Give up your plan, or the chime of an unknown godlike wouldn't interest Eothas, it has to be you. Let's do this one. Sargamas, you must give up this mad plan, it's not going to work.
You cannot ask me that. If you knew all that I have done, how arduously I have labored. No! I would sooner give my soul over to Rimagond and let it be trampled beneath his hooves for all eternity.
Ooh, okay. Whatever happened to Eothas at Ukaizo, he meant it to be permanent, he's gone. The gods have no conscience, they cannot experience shame, Eothas will never repent for what he did, or you cannot create an animat from stored essence, the consciousness dissipates instantly. Soul transfer must occur live. Yeah, let's do that one.
That can't be true. Nothing I have read in my studies has said anything of the sort.
Animancy has developed significantly in the last few decades. Your research is out of date. Whoever is supplying your scholarship and equipment is probably selling you other animancers' ancient cast-offs, so don't yell at me, it's not my fault you didn't do your homework. Let's say his research is out of date.
No. You have beheld my statue. You have carried the splinter of Eothas. You witnessed my power in the power of my lord. My brother, please. Why do you lie to me?
I told you the truth as I know it. Why do you lie to yourself?
Everything he asked of me. I did it all. And then he stopped asking.
I'm sorry, Sargamas.
But then, why did he leave? Why did he leave without me? What did I do wrong? Why does he not love me? Oh my God. What do I do now?
The people of the living lands need comfort now more than ever. Counsel them. The people of the Deadfire are still struggling to repair all that Eothas broke. Help them. There may be other godlikes who survived the vanishing. Find them. Or that's for you to figure out. Let's say there may be other godlikes who survived the vanishing. Find them.
I have much to consider. Excuse me. I must pray.
Huh.
Hear us. Follow us. We would speak to you.
Yeah. We'll speak in a second.
Chances, but I've never seen a change of heart like that. I guess your emperor really did send someone special.
So we're not fighting him? I'm not mad or anything, just surprised.
Yeah, there are a lot of outcomes where we do end up fighting him, but before we do that, or before we, do another choice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload again, and we're going to try another option on this, and we're going to decide which one we like, because I really want to make sure we get this one right. I think as a peaceful option, that worked pretty well for me. Let's try this again. Hello.
Milo, some...
So, perception, arcane scholar.
You see,
What does that mean? Let's say the chime of an unknown godlike wouldn't interest Eothas. It has to be you.
no, no. That would not be appropriate. He does not want me. He has made that clear.
Even if he doesn't speak to you anymore, you were his beloved. Who better to hold him responsible? Yeah, let's say that.
You? My God. You are right. I am what is missing from my work, but I couldn't see it. It must be me. Before I leave you, I would ask you to tell me something. What do you believe we are to our gods?
I think it's as though you said we are the gods' eyes, ears, and hearts. Through us they touch the world. We're resources. Each of us holds a fraction of their power to be recalled at any time. We're tools. They make us for a purpose to enact their will in the world. We're accidents, divine byblows. We don't matter to them at all. Or I won't know until I've met my god. You know what? I won't know until I've met my god.
I pray you have the chance. Goodbye, my friend. Walk always in the light.
Observe his death. Okay.
If thine heart be black, if thine intention be impure, thy life is forfeit. For he hath seen, he can see, he will see. Nothing is hidden from his glory. His light touches every corner of the world. Nothing is hidden from his sight, nor shall it be from mine.
Well.
The soul's in the machinery now. Gotta pull the lever to siphon it into the statue.
Yeah. But
Gonna
first.
pull the ascended lever. We better get to
Ooh.
it.
Last Stay of Light +2. What's this? Killing an enemy restores 3% of your maximum health. Hits deal 10% bonus fire damage. The lavish extravagance of this blade belies its wicked lethality. It was crafted for an Eothasian paladin of the Order of Kind Wayfarers as thanks by a blacksmith whose life was saved by the paladin. Rumor has it that never once did this paladin ever draw a last light of the day from its scabbard, settling every conflict through diplomacy. When they finally reached the end of their long life, they were buried along with this sword, which had yet to draw blood. How and when the weapon made its way into Sargamis's hands is unknown. From the notches on the blade, it almost certainly seen use well before that happened. I think this was an item in the previous games as well, I think, so yeah, that might make some sense. Anyway, pull the lever. And does it work? Nope. Yeah, I didn't think it would.
Nothing, huh? Well, on the bright side, at least the Oracle's not around to see this.
After all that, I'm almost disappointed.
Eothas was never going to return, but Sargamas couldn't see that.
This world has had enough highly destructive god statues, thanks.
What do you think, Envoy? Can a god really die?
Eothas' essence may be dispersed, but I don't think it's gone.
You're saying he'll come back eventually.
That sounds like a question for a priest. Well, with the Oracle dead, I guess we should get going.
Nod.
Right behind you, Envoy.
And then the voice wants to speak to us, I assume?
Hear us.
Yeah.
Follow us. We would speak to you.
Cool. So we're gonna go back to our save, because I think our choice here was actually the I think this one's best for us. We have convinced him that it will not work, and we have given him a new task in life. I think that's closest to what we want. The other option is that we would reload from the start and say, absolutely, I'm not going to give you the Splinter, but I think this is the most interesting ending. The one where we, this is the right one, right? He's still alive on this one? His corpse isn't over here? Yeah, I don't have that thing. He's over here somewhere, right? Or did he just wander off to this thing? He must have just wandered off. Like, off screen, and then, like, he's gone forever. Yeah, he just must not be here anymore. I guess we did reload, so he probably just disappeared because he's no longer part of the scene. Huh. Anyway, that's fine. But yeah, I think this one makes the most sense for us, maybe? Yeah, out of the choices that we had. Alright, let's do this.
It wakes. A host. Form given life. One day when we are free, we could return here, dwell in this body, feel the earth again. But it is a sprout, fragile. It must sleep here undisturbed. A secret you could keep. Tell us, will you give us this gift?
If I let you have it, what will you do with it?
We are not sure. Could we touch the world? Walk in the ocean? Sift our fingers through sand?
How will you claim it?
A shard of Adra tethers it to us. Yet it is weak. A quagmire of essence occludes its veins. If we had time to tend it, perhaps we could find a way.
I don't even know what you are. Why should I trust you with it?
This prison holds us, silences us. The years fade like leaves. We have no memory of summer, warm fire, soothing rain. We could walk gently in this body, tend, grow, learn anew. But we must claim it.
Everything about the statue is wrong. I have to destroy it, or the statue is yours. You know, if we were willing to do the experiment in the first place with Eothas, then we would just have no qualms about giving the statue to this weird Adra voice. The statue is yours.
A vessel to hold us. We will remember this. The Adra strains. It aches, a choking barricade of souls. Essence like mud, we cannot swim here. It must be flushed out. Free this obstruction, then when our prison bars fall, we will see.
Hey, Envoy. Back with us?
Yeah, I have to pull the lever again. For no particular reason.
New earth to till, new flower. We rest now. We must consider this.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a good decision. But the voice in our head now has a solid body that it can live in, powered by a shard of Eothas, or a splinter of Eothas. How could that be wrong? You know? It's all holy-ish. Well, going back to Dawnshore. -1 fiery sword. And this, I think, is where we are going to end the episode for today. Thank you very much. I can't. Right, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.